I just don't feel like America's good enough for my motherfucking people. So what? I said that shit. You don't like it? Fuck you. America ain't good enough for my people. Look what my people have been through. Look where we are today. We haven't moved as far as we could have moved if we weren't instructed. That's why I don't like America. Because America keeps them goddamn clamps on your ass, right? Every time you start flying a little too motherfucking high, they start clipping at your wings and fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? So no, I don't think the place is good enough. The food ain't good enough. Yeah, we cook some good goddamn food. I will admit, we can throw down. But all the hormones, all the shit they add to the food, they ain't good enough. It's fucking with our temple. That's the reason why we be sick and other people that got similar DNA to us don't be as sick. Because we are being fucked with. You know what I'm saying? The food ain't good enough for us. The entertainment. Have you seen them other mothers try to dance, try to copy us? Shit ain't good enough. You know what I'm saying? The bills is too goddamn high. It don't make sense. It places an unnecessary amount of stress in your life that you don't need. You know what I mean? Like, y'all go ahead. Tell me about all the positive shit America is for black folks. Tell me. Other than a source of income, a place to make money, a place to get a noose around your neck, and tax season how it tightens tighter and tighter every goddamn year. Y'all tell me about America. No, I don't have a whole lot of love for the place because I know my people can do better. They can do better. If they were just left alone, just allowed a piece of land where they can just flourish, they can do better. But because people know the power of that, they won't allow it in America. So, yeah, America ain't good enough for my people. And I don't care if it hurts your feelings. I really don't.
Hey, that Jake right there is speaking the truth, right? And it seems like this guy doesn't, know the truth of the scriptures, but he's realizing that this place is not it, okay, and that this place is not our rest. Okay, let's get that in Micah. Okay, Micah chapter 2 and verse 10, it says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with the sword destruction." Right? And that's going into all the places where we've been scattered. Okay? And the biggest place where Jake has been scattered is over here in the West. Okay? America. And a lot of Israelites, so-called Latinos, Negroes, and Native Americans, they're relaxed here. They think that this place is the best of the best and that nothing is going to get better. But when you look at, what is really being done behind the scenes, like this brother right here is talking about how, the food is fucked up, the air is fucked up, everything's fucked up. Okay? Once you start really, looking at the fine print, you realize that this place and those that are ruling it, the people that are ruling this kingdom, are not acting in the people's interest at all. Okay, and this place is polluted. It shall destroy you. It will destroy you. Okay, when you look at the average Jake, the average Israelite, you see they just completely lost in the sauce, out here on food stamps. With that food stamp money, buying Kellogg's and Cheerios and Frosted Flakes and corn dogs and cheeseburgers and soda and just straight bullshit. Black and Miles and the Henny, the liquor, just fucking up their temples completely. Okay, so yes, this place is destroying you. Okay, and this guy right here, he has half of the truth, but not the entire truth, because he's talking about, hey, we need to get our shit together, we gotta get out of here. But what he doesn't understand is that this is brought upon our people by the Heavenly Father, right? These are the curses that were talked about in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, right? It talked about how the stranger that is near to thee shall come up very high, and we're going to come down very low, going into how we're going to be the ones at the bottom of society, right? That's what we see today on a massive scale. Okay, the barrios, the hoods, it talked about how the tender and loving, man among you, his eye was going to be evil toward his brother, right? That's why you see the, Latino against Latino crime, the gang banging of the black on blacks. Okay, these are all curses that are playing out, right? And one of the curses is that we are going to eat our bread defiled amongst the nations. Let's get that in Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 13. It says, "And Yahweh said, Even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them." Right, going into how all the places where we've been scattered, right? Our food was going to be defiled. Okay, and that word defiled goes into spoiled, okay? Impaired, debased, polluted, right? And that's exactly what the so-called food of is today. It is impaired, right? Because these, crazy scientists, these Edomites, have gone into the food supply and genetically modified everything. Okay, when you look at a strawberry, okay, strawberries are not supposed to be as big as they are, right? If you search up a natural strawberry size compared to the ones you find, at Walmart, look at this right here. Cultivated strawberries, wild strawberries. The reason they come out so big is because they're impairing them. They're genetically modifying these organisms. Okay, so everything is polluted. Okay, and once you start straying away from the natural, order, the natural way, that's when you start getting those problems, right? A perfect example of that is, how they preach that feminism over here in the West, right? The natural order is the Most High, the Son, man, woman, child, okay? And once you get out of that order, you see what's happening right now, okay? Woman, completely out here, a down and out, okay, feeling lost, emotional, talking about there's no good men when, they've ran through every single man, just out of their minds, okay, on a power trip. And the reason why we see this whole epidemic of mothers, single mothers with 3 4 kids, 3 4 different baby daddies, still single in the 40s looking for a relationship, is because the serpent, being these Edomites, have pushed that broken ass philosophy, that impaired philosophy that the woman is the top, the woman is the head, and the man follows. Okay, and just how you've seen in everything, once you stray from that natural order, that's when you get problems. So, same thing with the food, same thing with the air supply. The air supply is tainted, okay, and everything here is polluted, and it shall destroy you, right? So, once you understand that, America is not supposed to be the kingdom of heaven, that this is supposed to be our punishment, then you understand that we can't really do much about it. Okay, no Jake. Okay, no so-called black man is gonna raise into power and change the laws and the policies and make America great again. That's not gonna happen. Okay, when you go into Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68, it goes into how no man shall buy you, going into no man shall redeem you, save you. Right? No, man is gonna save us from this condition. The only person that's gonna save us is Yahweh Shai. Okay, so no carnal man, just any regular man, is gonna raise up and save the nation of Israel. Okay, that's why Martin Luther King didn't work, Malcolm X, got killed, and any of these so-called revolutionists, never succeeded, because that's not how the prophecy is supposed to play out. The prophecy is that we're in this low condition until the Messiah comes back. So, Ezekiel 4 and 13. They shall eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles. Right? So some fucked up ass food supply. And one thing he was also going into is how, we constantly work. And, all that money that we be making, it essentially just disappears. And that was spoken of in Haggai chapter 1 and verse 6. It says, Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. Right, and that's pretty much, the common story for the average Israelite here in America. The average American in itself is they work, right, sowing a lot, and they bring in little. Right, here it is, you'll go put in 40, 50 hours at work, and when you get that paycheck, here it is, the IRS, they've taxed you damn near 50%. Right, here it is, supposed to make $1,500 in the week, and they take away $500. Right, so that's what it's talking about when he says he puts his money into a bag with holes. Okay, the money just seems to disappear. And we could relate to that when it comes to bills. Okay, light bill. Gotta pay for something that is free, light. Okay, water bill, gotta pay for something that is free. Water, okay, heat, rent. Paying for a land that is not even these people's. It's ours. So-called Latinos, and Native Americans, the Israelites. We were the ones that were here first. So, at the end of the day, the Most High created all these things to be free, and we are being charged for free, resources. But that's how it is in captivity. Okay, the people in rulership ultimately extract the wealth and resources from everybody else. So, in the same way that they're doing it right now, it's going to be the same way that we do it in the kingdom. Right? Let's actually read that in Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 11. It says, "Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish, yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted." Right? So in the kingdom, when the Israelites are ruling everything, we're going to have these nations come and bring unto us their forces. Right? And when you go into that word forces, it should go into resources. Okay, hayal, or strength, wealth, army, goods. Right? So, as I was saying, right, today the elite extract the wealth of the average, person, and when we're in rulership, we're going to be doing the same thing to these heathens. Okay, and rightfully so, because they've done it to us for generations upon generations. And it says that if they don't serve us, they shall be utterly wasted. Right? So, hey, that's slavery right there. Okay, forced labor. And it's all in the scriptures, by the way. A glorified Zion, which is soon coming. Now, as the brother was saying, okay, I'm going to replay it right here.
And other people that got similar DNA to us don't be as sick. Have you seen them other mothers try to dance, try to copy us? Shit.
He was going into, have you seen those other people try to dance, try to copy us? Right? And the reason he says that is because, the Israelites are referred to as the salt of the earth. Okay? The seasoning. And the scriptures talk about how we are above all other nations. We are better. And, this Jake right here is realized without even realizing the truth. Ain't no Edomite so-called white person dancing like a Latina. It's not possible. They don't got that flow, that natural, rhythm. They're rigid, they're stiff. And that right there is a separation made by the Most High. Right? So, hey, they can't do it like us, and they never will. Right? When the scriptures talked about Jacob and Esau, okay, and one was stronger than the other, okay, that was going into the Israelites being stronger than these Edomites. Okay, you don't hear about no Edomite, okay, out here performing some crazy ass, feats. Okay, so normally Jake, you think about pure strength, you think about Samson, okay, you think about David, you think about all these mighty men, okay, and there was no Edomite, okay, in any of these histories. But that's besides the point. I think the point has been established. No lies detected here. This is in our rest. Jake is telling the truth, right? And it's crazy because he doesn't even know the truth. He doesn't look like he's an Israelite. He has the knowledge, but he's still seeing the resemblances. He's still seeing what is really happening in this world. And once you understand the scriptures, then it all makes sense. That you put the puzzle pieces together. So, with that, I'll give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem, Rakak Wadash, and double honors to the honored bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me the truth. Shalom to you like Shalom.